Things Black with Garland and Calvin. I'm Calvin.
I'm
He's
Garland.
Garland. And that is the championship belt. As always, we're going to have the championship belt up there. And we have a battle coming this week, but we'll talk more about that later. And today, as you know, we're going to discuss the Shy. This will be season 4, episode 3, Native Son. And as we found out last week, Lena Waithe titles it for everything that's been based in Chicago, all Black movies that have been based in Chicago. So we
Right.
figured that out because with the titles she's been going, we need to figure out seasons 1 and 2 because she has some titles in there and I had no idea what was
Right.
going on with them. But anyway, what's going on, Garland?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. You know, surviving this little temporary, it's Baltimore. Last week it was like 50 degrees over the weekend. And then, it's like 90 something today. So, it's Maryland, it's Baltimore. So, what can you do?
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
It's Baltimore, dummy. Hey, man. We were at the game yesterday, and I've gone to the game where it's been 90 plus degrees, and it's usually just oppressive heat out there. But we were actually in some shade, and there was some breeze
Okay.
blowing, and the breeze wasn't just the Orioles running by scoring 17 runs
Right.
on them Cleveland Indians, but it was a breeze and it was good. But I'm glad my Orioles got on the winning track, especially because my daggone Lakers got eliminated.
Lakers
they
done
got
done.
eliminated. We talked about it though. I said without
talked about
Anthony Davis, they was in trouble,
Done
and they
done.
was in trouble. But even with Anthony Davis, the way Devin Booker was playing, man, I don't know if the Lakers would have won it. Devin Booker was just amazing through the series. So I don't know if the Lakers would have won anyway. But they're gone. Doesn't matter. We'll see what the Suns do against the Nuggets. We'll see how that works out. If they use the same game plan, they should actually win again, as long as their boys are hitting on anything. But anyway, enough about that, man. Let's get into this Shy episode, man.
Let's do it.
What's going on with it?
The Shy. Man, yeah, let's just get into it because it was a little wacky last night. And so, as Calvin said, last night's episode had a theme titled Native Son, and it takes its name from the novel written by American writer Richard Wright. It tells the story of Bigger Thomas, a Black youth living in utter poverty in a poor area of Chicago's South Side in the 1930s. And so, for those who want to find the book or the movie, if you don't want to read, the book was adapted into a movie, and it was released by HBO. As a matter of fact, if you have HBO Max, you could probably go and pull it up. The young guy he's been in a couple movies. The Wu-Tang movie, he played the RZA. He was in Moonlight, where he played Chiron. And so, yeah, he's been in a couple movies. He was in the Denzel movie, Equalizer 2. And so he plays Bigger Thomas, and they kind of update it to present time. But it's a pretty good book, and it's an excellent movie. So if you get an opportunity, go and see it. And so let's go ahead and start with America's favorite fuck couple, Emmett and Tiffany. And I titled this Open Marriage because if you saw last night's episode, you'll understand why. And so this Emmett and Tiff storyline, man, to me is getting more bogus as we keep going along. Ain't no way your spouse gonna cheat on you, come back home, and all you concerned about if Dante pulled out. Your spouse cheated on you. Your spouse left out the house, stayed out all night long, and the only thing you concerned about is if she tells you somebody else hit, and the only thing you worried about is if they pulled out because y'all can't have no more babies around the house. Bro,
Okay.
let me keep on going.
Okay.
So as a result of their infidelity to each other, because they both cheated on each other, Tiff suggests that they have open up their marriage. After getting the idea from some of her gay friends, they're a couple, they was at the little edible tasting, and they were like, hey, maybe y'all should go ahead and try a open marriage, an open relationship. Now this it went from crazy Calvin to super crazy because I'm not a proponent of open marriages, but I understand the work that it takes to have open relationships. And so she just decided on a whim, like, you know what, this sounds like a good idea. I like what old boy gave me and whatnot. Yeah, hey, Emmett, let's go ahead and open up the relationship. What the heck? Man, do you believe this storyline?
Yeah, actually, I can believe the storyline, and let me tell you why. Let me tell
Why?
you why. And I too am not a
Make it make
proponent of an
sense.
open relationship. I'm not. There will never be no open relationship in any relationship that I'm in, and any relationship that I was ever in. There was never an open relationship, or at least not an open relationship that I told them about at the time. But anyway,
Right.
um, I've always believed that men and women look at cheating a lot differently. Women look at cheating as if, I loved you. I can't believe you did this and all the things I've done for you, this and that. And men look at cheating as, you fucked him? Like, we just look at the physical part of it. So Emmett's response, did he come in you? I think is his kind of way of trying to rationalize, well, okay, I understand I messed up, but you did it to him, but you couldn't let him come in you because that's the ultimate in disrespect right there. I think that's kind of his cover, but in the or his protecting himself. But I also think Tiff is doing the same thing. I think for Tiff, the open relationship is her knowing that he's going to cheat again and basically saying if he's going to cheat again, make it just physical because that means nothing. Just like when I had sex, it didn't mean anything. Make it physical, and because I still love him, I have the emotion for him. Now, with that being said, your question to me was, is it believable? Yes, it's believable. Is it doable? Hell no, it ain't doable. What I find that Tiff got some bad advice. Now, in the people that I've known, it seems like men that are in gay relationships are a little more sexually free and a little more sexually experimenting than any other relationship.
Right.
Even because women that are in gay relationships, you never see anything like that. But I've known a couple situations where men in gay relationships have been like, "Oh yeah, we see one another as long as we're honest about it." I don't know how that's. It wouldn't work for me, but I think she got some bad advice. But she's trying to experiment with it. The problem isn't her asking. The problem is Emmett saying okay to keep the relationship going. Because I'd have been like, "Bitch, you crazy?
Right.
Hell no,
Well,
hell
first
no."
he was a little hesitant at first. He was like, "No, I just love you, whatever." But to me, see, and this is the thing. I guess this is my issue about Lena Waithe. Sometimes when she gets into these heady issues, it's always very surface, and it's never meaty. It's never really
Yes.
exploring it. Now you're gonna throw out open relationship, cool. That people are doing open relationships, but open relationships are not done so the person can go out and just sleep with whoever. Just from what I understand, I saw polyamory on Showtime, and I've known a couple of people that have been in open relationships. Open relationship is not for you. It's not a ticket just for you to go all willy nilly. It is really just saying, hey, we've decided that we're not going to hold each other to some archaic rules, and we're going to explore the relationships, other relationships together. We have ground rules. We have things you have to follow. The way she was just saying, just go ahead and go do your thing. I'm gonna do my thing, and
Yeah.
that's a recipe for disaster. Because I think that's what a lot of people think about open relationships. It's like, you do you, I do me, and if we meet in the middle, cool. And so yeah,
Yeah.
that's my issue with it.
And I think, based on the previews of next week, I think that might be the
Mm-hmm.
path that they're going down. It looked like, and like I said, I think men are more physical and women are more emotional, when they look at things. And I think, they showed a scene. It looked like the scene where Emmett was kind of like, "Well, this is what you wanted. I mean, it's
Right.
whatever," and she was kind of like, "Nah." And if you noticed, when Dom said to her, "Are we cool?" The only thing she said was, "Yeah, we cool. Just don't sleep with him again." You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Like,
Right.
you good with that? Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, you don't want to confront her, and it's not about a fight. It could be just like, I would be all like, so is this, are you sure you don't like him? Like, I would expect her to be like, are you sure you don't have any more emotions for him?
Right.
Are you just being with his dad to get over him, to be with the next best thing? Like, tell me what's going on, like, dig into it. But now on the other end of that, Tiff is done. Like, the worst thing that you could have in a woman that you're with is her being done with you. And it feels like she's done with Emmett. She loves him. They got a kid together, but it feels like she's done with him. So I don't know. It's really hard to tell what's going on with them two, but it
Yeah.
doesn't seem like it's going down a good path.
Yeah, to me, it's just, you haven't really dug into what happened between him and Dom. You just assume that it happened yesterday or whatever, this last season. But,
Yeah, yeah.
it's not the justification of saying, okay, well, I went out and got me a piece and it felt good. Let's open up a relationship. So that leads me to a bigger question. Who's the bigger fuck person, Emmett or Tiff?
Well, it's still Emmett, and I like Emmett.
Nah, it's Tiff now.
It's still Emmett. So Tiffany's reacting to what Emmett has done. If Emmett doesn't do it, or if Emmett doesn't even come out and say it, then we're not even thinking about Tiffany as a fuckboy. She's
Mm-hmm.
still loyal and faithful Emmett. Tiffany, if Tiffany is a fuckboy, then it's because what Emmett did to her and drove her to that point.
All right, all right, I'll take it. I'll take it. But yeah, so I want to see how this goes because you opening up for disaster. A lot of people think I'm strong. Oh, yo, I could do an
Nah,
open joint. Okay, all right.
it's,
I shared
it's
when we were talking about this in one of the other shows. I was sharing that I had a friend. He was in an open, and when the open started happening on the other end, he like, oh, whoa, he was in his feelings. Like, okay, I said open,
but
but I thought it was gonna be open for me, not for you.
yeah, but Emmett accepted it. See, Emmett should have been like, you know what? I know I messed up, but there's a line. And here's where I knew Emmett was just he was too deep in. She literally looked at him and was like, "We came so many times, it's hard to tell." Then she
Right,
said, "And he get better head than you." Emmett, you should have been like, "All right, you know what?
right,
Cool. Do you? We gonna
right,
split up. We'll talk about child support or whatever we need to talk
right.
about,
Come
but
on.
I'm out."
Yeah, how you gonna bang
Bruh.
up in the crib like I text you last night? She was a candidate for shaking baby syndrome.
She was more of a candidate for low blow shots at this man, and
I'm not
he ain't
advocating for
even,
punches, but like Chris Rock said, I
well,
will shake you.
low blow emotional shots. Yo, she told him, we done
Right.
came so many times that it's hard to do. What? You gonna tell me this? Nah, nah.
Oh Lord. Okay, okay. Some of our audience is sharing their stories, their testimonies, how they were in open relationships, and they're currently in the back end of a thin line between love and hate situation right now. So, all righty.
Open relationship should be short for open carry relationship. So get you a gun. You
Right,
never know what's going. Yeah, it
right.
ain't.
Come
I'm
on,
not.
man.
I've never been interested. I already know. I can't handle it. I've
Right,
never been in it. I can't handle it. You can't come back and tell me about no another nigga. Like you, I can't even see you looking like you laughing at his jokes more than you laughing at mine. Like,
right.
what, you nigga
You
funnier
giggling
than
real
me?
hard. Yeah, he's funny.
He funnier than me. Matter of fact, I told you that joke 2 weeks ago and you barely laughed. So but he Kevin Hart in this motherfucker. Oh no.
right. You he a little bit too loud, a little bit too hard right now. All right, so let's talk about Stop the Violence. Mayor Duda. Now, Mayor Duda's plan to defund the police. It's going a little bit sideways, Calvin. The police are angry and the violence is getting worse. And so Duda, he decides he wants to fund the violence prevention work that Tracy is doing. But instead, our boy Trigg, because he's transforming into more than just being a thug and beating up police and selling drugs, him and Tracy get together and they suggest that they do a larger effort where the citizens police the neighborhoods instead of calling 911. And so instead of calling 911, call Trigg and Tracy, and they're going to come on out. And this is a storyline. They're going to come on out and they're going to diffuse the situation. So, of course, since this is TV, Duda didn't have to deal with the city council, the news media, or any sort of backlash or resistance that would accompany such a move like that in real life, because it's Lena Wakeland. So you can do whatever you want. And so Trigg and Tracy, they go to try to defuse a domestic situation, but it doesn't go too well. But they're determined not to give up. And with an encouraging rah-rah speak from Duda, they decide to keep going. And so, this is another thing. I always said this about Lena, getting into a weighty topic, but only staying on the surface. Okay, I feel that I don't know if too much thought has been put behind this storyline. Trigg is a trigger man. That's why he call him Trigg. He now he a community organ. Now he Barack Obama. And Chicago, they've had a history. This is my little social work type of work. They had a history of doing violence prevention. As a matter of fact, Baltimore's program, Safe Streets, it was modeled after the Chicago model. Chicago's model is called Ceasefire. And so, they've been doing this for years to try to, reduce gun violence in the city. And they've had some success and had some challenges, just like Baltimore's program has as well, because they use, these people who have been formerly incarcerated, who have street cred, to be the ones who are the violence interrupters. And so, where do you see this going, Calvin? And we'll talk about Duda and Tracy in a minute. I haven't forgot that, y'all. But, where do you see this going? I'm still kind of, I can see if it was Papa Father out there. I can see if it was maybe you introduce another character to work along with Tracy. But the whole thing of Trigg's still in the street. But go ahead, man.
Yeah, so the saying. Of course, it's an old saying, and people use it. Be careful what you ask for. Literally on here, last couple episodes, I've been saying, that storyline has been played over and over. I'd like to see it go in a different direction. Well, it's definitely going in a different direction, and right. I it's TV land, and I can get past due to not dealing with the city council, taking things into his own hand. Fine. I can get past all that. But just like you, how is Trigg? Well, first of all, how does Trigg come in and say some things, and then Tracy's all like, "Oh yeah, he should stay because it sounds good," and then next thing you know, all of a sudden, they in the room talking about it, but then the phone ring right away. I was literally like, wait a minute, we not training? We starting right now?
They just go right
so
out.
Then they just run out to. So Luke James turns into Luke Cage of Chicago. So now he fighting there. I'm like, well, wait, what's happening here? And then, okay. So the confrontation is a little Hollywood, and I get it what they're trying to do, but then I'm also like, we all know that even in the Shyland, Chicago is full of problems. So they spend all that time in that one apartment, hours it seems like, and ain't nobody else call. Who manning the phones? Who
Right.
you ain't got no other issues but that one. And all the dude first he don't want to go, then he get his bag and say I can drive myself. I just don't. I don't. I wanted to get better, and like you said, I understand what they're doing, but the characters they're doing it with, first you had to make us believe that Luke James was a gangster. Okay,
Right.
we took it last season. Now we finally
Okay.
got that. So now you're trying to make us believe that not only is he a gangster, but now, like you said, he's Barack Obama. He's the new community liaison, the community advocate there,
Right.
and he's solving all the problems, solving all the domestic problems, or all the crime problems in there. Him, and the muscle of the drug gang of Reggie's muscle. They're gonna
Right.
solve everything. And Tracy, I just yeah, yeah, man. I'm
Yeah.
okay.
I'm just it. Come on, man. And you know, Tyrone really said it. She said, it's kind of unrealistic that we have this guy. He is a thug with a transgender lover. Now he's a social worker. Not that thugs can't have transgender lovers; they can. But
You love who you love.
Gay Pride Month, and but you can love who you love. Yeah, it creeps more from the truth and reality. And I don't even call it truth. I just want to call it reality. Something that feels real. Something that you can go, okay, yeah, I know it's a TV show, but this is realistic in the sense of the presentation and the interpretation. And I'm sorry, I'm still, yeah, Tracy. All she did was organize a couple candlelight vigils, and that was about it.
And then she got $5 million that he's
Right.
willing to put behind her organization.
I all I know, come
$5 million.
on. Tracy was a woman that was dating Ronnie. I ain't gonna talk bad about Ronnie. Uh, don't talk bad about me. But I'm trying to figure out how did she get credentialed. Anyway, yeah. So nonetheless, yeah, this is going definitely to the left in terms of this storyline. I just I don't get it, and I don't see Trig's part in it. I mean,
Yeah.
hey, put Papa out there. I would believe Papa and Maisha more than I would believe Trig and Tracy.
And you absolutely would, because of the background on the show and the things that they've been trying to do. Just
Exactly.
like you said, he went and met with Papa's father. I that stuff is believable, but it starts to go a little bit off the rails. And like you said, we know it's TV, we know it's that, we know it's not real, but we're
Right.
not. We're also not watching sci-fi. We're not
Right.
watching the Avengers. You know what I mean? We're still watching like kind of dramas that you still want to relate to. Like, you didn't talk about the pandemic at all, which is fine because now it opens the things up a lot more. Everything else is about the pandemic. So you didn't talk
Right.
about that. It opens it up, which is great. But now you're going in some directions that just aren't believable. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and and not to get off topic too much, I think towards the end of The Wire, that's what started happening when they you
Yeah. Got a
start
little
writing
nutty.
things that, yeah, you're kind of like, not quite sure if
Right.
that would actually happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
And all
Right.
shows get like that because there's not a whole lot else to write about and things like that. So I get it, but you had a whole season of stuff that you couldn't do, and this was supposed to be a comeback season. Now the first two episodes were good, and let me not disparage this episode. I thought this episode was good, but
Hmm.
yeah, this whole thing with Duda and the police, and now Tracy and Trig is just starting to get a little, like you just said, nutty.
Right. In the chat box, they saying, "Hey, because COVID didn't happen for Negroes." And so that's that was I swear that was the early word last year when we were talking about black people can't get COVID. You remember this? And so yeah, maybe Lena is operating off of that black people can't get COVID, and so maybe that's why it's not part of the show. Anyway. All right, man. Don't leave your girl around me. True player for real. As my boy Kevin for real. My boy Jake. about to pull little Jammer. He about to pull some dark skin. Yo, about to pull a little chocolate. Yo. You heard? Yeah, and so Jake and Kevin, they have to serve in school suspension. For, I guess it was for Kevin being high on the college trip, and then Jake scooping up on Becky. Jake was out there skiing, and so they both got in trouble, and they had to do in school suspension. Oh man, I wish they would have had that when when I was in school. In school suspension. How many times were you ever, Cal? Because I know you're a scholar. You probably never been suspended from school. How many times were you suspended from school? From elementary to high school.
I'm a scholar with an attitude problem. I didn't like any teachers talking back to me. So if I'll tell you about one of my suspensions, and these every suspension I've ever gotten has been because a teacher said something that I thought was slick, and I wasn't having it. I was in this class, and this wasn't even my teacher. I was in a class like I can't remember what was going on, but whatever was going on, I wasn't part of it. So I was sitting in the class, some other people, and I asked someone for a pencil. And so the teacher came to me and was like, I said, be quiet. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I was just asking for a pencil. She said, I don't care what you asking for. I said, be quiet. I said, well, bitch, I don't care what you saying. Be quiet for.
What?
If I need a fucking pencil, yeah, man, I got suspended. I can't. It's something in me. You can't crack slick with me, and I can't let it go. And every time I've got suspended. I got suspended one time. Me and this chick was playing in the hall or something, and the teacher was like, stop it. What is your name? And I kept walking. I said, all right, man, I'm going to stop. I kept walking. He said, no, what is your name? So I kept walking. And he
Uh-huh.
ran down. He said, oh, so you don't have a name? I got in his face. I said, bitch, I got a name, and the name is smack the shit out you.
You weren't that
the
shitty
thing
doing this.
the things that well, yeah, but the things that saved me was the fact that I was known through the administration. You know, I was a decent
Right.
student. I had positions and stuff like class president and all. So they always looked at it like this is an outline situation. He just, so they only suspended me. I mean, those things are expulsion. Then the guy that I cussed out when we was in the meeting, he gonna say, well, yeah, if the young man had touched me, we might be talking about this with the police in the court system. I was about to say, bitch, you bitch, mother. I had to chill because the principal was there, my mother was there, but it was killing me. Anyway,
That's
that's
crazy.
my suspensions have always
That's
been
just a
based around.
Yeah, and most everybody knows mine because I've shared it a little bit. I was suspended on every level of school, elementary, middle, and high school. I did get expelled from in high school, and so
You
uh,
did say that. You
I
did
did
tell us
say
that.
that, and I didn't get suspended in college, but I did get in trouble with administration in college, and so, but not enough to warrant a suspension. So, yeah. So I'm a repeat offender. But your boy Kevin, man, he just continues to mess up with Gemma while his boy Jake slides right in like light wind. He's right there at the door. We see what's going to happen next week. He pulling the fire alarm. They running out holding hands. She holding his hand, looking at him like he yummy. Wow, that's got. Oh wow, that's Kevin about to
It's
really spaz. You think he's spazzing out now, smoking weed and drinking brown liquor? He really about to go in.
what well, you see, he said that text. Where are you? I miss you. I love you. It was
Right.
like she
Jake
looked.
up there. Jake read that text and like, don't respond.
No, I think right now Jake is clueless. If you notice, Jake wasn't really feeding in. Gemma was the one looking at him, and and see, Gemma told Kevin, "I need you to debate with me. I need the challenge. I like the
Right.
challenge."
Right.
Kevin has not been giving her the challenge that
I
she
don't want to
desires,
challenge
and
you. I want to do what you want to
exactly,
do.
and whenever she wants to do something, Kevin is like, nah, nah, nah. She looks at Jake like the renegade. So as
Right.
soon as Jake was like, no, first thing she said was, can I read you? He was like, I ain't do that shit.
Right.
Girls, girls like the bad boy. He was like, I ain't do that shit. And
Right.
then she wants to, and he like first he like, nah, she's like, nah, just me and you. And he like, all right. Then she started looking at him. Then she rubbing his hand. I mean, and Kevin's saying that, but Kevin lucky he in a school where they clearly not going to talk to him like that. Because I'd have turned around and been like, "You just gonna let her rub your boy hand and shit? Like that's
Right.
that's what we
Yo,
doing now,
like, yo, you see
bro?"
your boy? Yo, that wouldn't have ran in no public. Like, yo, you see this? Son, we
Exactly.
go, we
And if
we need to
Kevin
see him after school.
No, Kevin gets smart, which you'd be like, man, nigga, shut the fuck up. You'd be like, oh, you gonna talk to me like that. But when Gemma was rubbing your man hand, you ain't say nothing to
Right.
him. But I'm the guy that you want to fight. All right, I see
Right.
where it is. I
Right.
see where it is.
Yeah, man. Come on, man.
But
That
that's all on Gemma right now. That's all on
yeah,
Gemma, which is
Gemma.
actually all on Kevin because
Mm-hmm.
Kevin's not giving her what she's
Right.
asking for, and she's literally asking for it.
All right.
And Kevin is kind of putting her on the back burner. But now that he sees that she's starting to show some interest in Jake, Kevin is feeling like, oh well, wait a minute.
Yo, our chat box is really popping off with one person this evening, and she is just showing out. She's like, "Yeah, I'm girls." When we talk about girls, what somebody's to confront them, and I thought, I guess we taught that we were initially taught that women just they want love and they want someone who is agreeable and all that stuff. But yeah, you learn through life that they want one of them non niggas.
Well, but I mean, women, especially women that are career minded and have education, they want to be able to talk sensibly. They don't want to say something and all you saying the whole time is, oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, because they feel like you're not paying attention. You know what I mean? You want to be able to at least watch TV with someone and say, "Oh man, I think such and such is going on," and then they look at you and you be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, me too." Like you don't have no opinion. Like
right.
they want you to have an
And
opinion at least.
right, this is
And
not
even
coming
if you
to
agree
America.
with them, expand on that opinion. You can agree, but expand on it.
Right.
Kevin is just straight like, "I love you. I don't want to
Um,
debate with you."
whatever
What?
you. He like the woman that coming to America. Whatever you want, whatever you like.
Exactly. And Gemma is definitely like Eddie Murphy. I want a lady that can satisfy my mind as well as my loins.
Right. Boy, Kevin about to be like the dude with the Jerry curl. The dog going to snap on him at the house with the flowers. Better get his life together. Anyway,
He
so
better do
yeah,
something.
yeah, because Jake about to post up on your honey for real, for real. He about to be jumping from the window in the snow. Yeah. All right. All right. Warriors, secrets, and edibles. And so Duda and Tracy, let's get back to them. Now, Ronnie saw this last night and he got a little bit upset, Calvin, because I can't believe they're going to take her. She's not grieving. She in there giving up the booty to Duda. She's not grieving for me. She's not sitting down and talking about me. And she don't even remember me. How I killed somebody for her. But she out here giving the boots. And then she letting Candy watch. She let Candy watch. Me and Grandma watch too, but she let Candy watch her giving the boots to Duda. This is crazy. All right, Cole. Okay, all right. I don't know if I could. I'm not that much of a voyeur. I mean, I want to have some fun, but man, you ain't coming in talking about. Well, then again, if it's Halle Berry, somebody maybe, but you're not just gonna come in and talk about. Oh no, y'all go ahead. I like to watch.
Hey, man, I'm not into it either. But if you want to watch, then you gonna have to join my OnlyFans because you ain't watching for free. Like, I
Right.
mean, we not just gonna be giving this shit away. Like, if it's that interesting, I need your $5 subscription, and then if you want a personal video. I can send you that for $5 on the side. We can have
Right.
some masturbation videos or whatever it is. But yo, you're not. I mean, you need to join OnlyFans // hashtag Papa Bear. You need
Right.
to
Right. You better sign up for my Patreon or something. Come on
Something, man. Hey,
now.
man, listen,
Right.
listen. I'm not even mad at Tracy. Talk about a come up. She was with a drunk. Now she with the mayor. Son, Tracy done came up in one season. One season. Tracy, she got $5 million. And I guess Otis was like, give you $5 million. You can give me some of that butt. You know what I
Right.
mean? So,
I
and she
just brought
liked him
this for
anyway.
5 million. Yeah, I just brought this for 5 million. You
Yeah.
you better let Candy.
But you see, he didn't want to stay there in front of Candy. He was trying
Right.
to leave. She was the one that stopped him and was like, "Well, shit. I
Whoa.
mean, if she want to watch, hey, take a look at this ass, girl. You want to watch? I'm gonna show you this ass. Bedroom Candy. Don't you
Right.
got some toys or something you want to throw at us or something? Man. Now, we
Yeah.
talk about how Candy is a horrible actress and she makes everyone in the scene even a worse actress. That her watching is falling in line right where her personality. That is probably the most believable she's been since she's been on the show because that is the type of person Candy is. And she sat her ass right down and was
Right.
like, all right.
Like, okay, go right ahead. Yeah, man. So yeah, hey, man, each his own. I mean, shoot. If you watching, you watching. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, I'm not into it. It ain't gonna happen. But if it's
Right.
gotta happen, it's gotta happen on
Yeah.
OnlyFans. I need to I
Right.
need to get
Yeah.
paid for that.
Y'all
Get
keep
paid.
on screwing. Y'all keep on. Y'all keep going. Cause I just like to watch. Like, okay. Go with them teeth watching. Anyway. All right, man. We haven't really touched on Jada this season so far. And Jada, she has cancer. We saw in the last episode her masseuse boyfriend, who's only 2 years older than Emmett. He was rubbing her boobies, and he felt a little lump. Told her go get it. She's like, I go get it checked out, babe, and she did. And the biopsy came back, kind of bad news. And so they want to treat her aggressively. She tells her homeboy Dre, but she doesn't want Dre to tell Emmett. I always gotta get it in. She doesn't want. She doesn't want to tell Emmett, and she wants her homeboy Dre to keep it a secret. And so, is that dumb or realistic, Calvin?
So we don't know where Drake came from. So we don't really know how
Right.
close of a
Were they best
relationship her and
friends? I
Jada
think.
have.
Oh, you
Yeah,
know
we
what?
we don't know.
She introduced Dre to Kevin's mother. That
Okay.
I think that was the thing. That was the premise of the in the wedding last
Yeah,
year. So that's where it came from. But go ahead.
yeah, but we don't know. Maybe they grew up together. We know they went to high school together, but did they
Mm-hmm.
grow up together? Is she her confidant? I think the only issue I have with this is that Dre isn't sharing this with Kevin's mom. Maybe she's keeping the secret for her because they're that close, but in a marriage and when you are living with someone and you have to sneak around to do some things, it doesn't look good, and we can see from our end that it's nothing going on, but it's not going to look good when Kevin's mom find out because she's going to find out and she needs to come clean. So I think that's one mistake. And of course the other mistake is Jada, you got to tell your son. Like
Yeah,
your
come on,
son
y'all.
can't be the last to know. He's not a child. He's an adult. And it doesn't matter what he's going through. And Dre did give him that advice. Everybody's going through some shit, but you can't not tell him, you know what I
Right.
mean? And especially because you telling this dude, you telling everybody else around him, but you're not telling him. You, she's making a misstep with that. Before anyone, Emmett is going to be the one that's there for her.
Right.
Emmett has never wavered in his love for his mom. As much of an ass as he's been, he's
Right.
never wavered in that. So she definitely needs to tell him. And plus, Emmett has gone from homeless to a business owner. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like
right, right.
he's accepted some responsibility, and you've got to give him that much credit. I think she's really, and I like Jada, but I think she's really wrong with not telling Emmett.
Yeah. The box is going crazy again. Yeah, she's going to tell his crybaby ass, but then he ran out the apartment, so he did get a little upset. But he should have got upset. Mom's up in there with his high school classmate. He ain't too happy about that. But nonetheless, yeah, that's her only child. To me, you would have found a way. You had a way to tell him when you was high off the edibles, and so, you know,
Yeah, you got to tell him.
yeah, you
You
got to tell
that
him this. Yeah, the
that one
secret.
apartment scene isn't enough. You got to
Right,
call him. You got to text
right.
him. You got to tell him. You
But
got
that's
to
how
tell
it
him.
works in the shop. Just one time. You get one time, and that's it. If you don't hit it on the one time, they gonna keep on moving. So yeah, shot. You don't get second times on the shot. All right, man. Our boy Rashad. He learns that Imani is transgender, and he learns this from this dude who brings a girl by the hair salon to get her hair done by Imani, and while she's talking to the young woman, she finds out that this young woman is being forced into sex work, and so this is interesting. I want to see what happens with our boy Rashad. And he seemed to really be kind of like wowzers on this, and he should have been because he didn't know. But does he, maybe he perceives this as a weakness in Trig, that Trig is with someone who's transgender.
Yeah, actually, last week I thought that he could sense that Imani was a man. Coming from prison and stuff like that.
Right.
I actually thought he could sense it, but apparently not. Um,
Yeah, he didn't look
well,
at the
question.
Adam's apple.
Yeah. Well, real quick question: is that the guy that brought the girl into the shop? Isn't that the guy that Kevin went to looking for his sister, and he put the gun in Kevin's face?
I
That's the
think
same
so.
guy,
That's the same guy.
because Kevin knew he was trafficking girls, so Kevin went to that house first. Well, didn't know, someone told him. Yeah, so I'm going to say this. I Even last season, as much as we joke and laugh about Trig and Amani, outside of the doodah part with Trig, this is probably the best storyline that they've had in last year and this year. This is great. You know what I mean? Like, because you want to know what's going to happen. Like, her friends told her, don't get involved in this, because it's spelling out trouble. And if we see the previews, it looks like Trig confronts him about something. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what's going on with this. I actually really like the Imani character, and I want to see the dynamic with Rashad coming in and see how that works with Trig and all. And then you still have Jake in the house, but this section of the show seems to be the most interesting for me. And I actually like the Amani character. Again, we laugh and joke about Amani a lot, but I think we all agree that Amani is probably one of the best characters on the show, and acts very well. Like, the acting is almost impeccable with Amani. So it's
Yeah.
great. It's great.
Imani's always the conscience. She's like the voice of reason, and so she's kind of always bringing stuff back or getting people in alignment, which I appreciate. And also, yeah, I want to see what happens in the coming weeks with that. And I think probably one of the funniest things in the night, we can close on this, was your boy Darnell. Darnell had a little bit too many edibles. I don't know if anybody is out there ever had that edible experience of like, oh man, this cookie ain't nothing. All right, give me the other piece. And about an hour later, you be like, ah. That's what happened to our boy Darnell, just eating up all the trees. Like, I didn't had edibles before. I didn't eat these edibles. And about an hour later, that boy was done.
When he sat on the couch and was like, "Hey, I don't want to be high." Hey, but let me tell you, the funniest thing that Donnell did that I thought yesterday was when Tiff came in and he was working with Dom. And as soon as Tiff walked in, he dropped. He looked over at Dom like, "You good? Like,
Right.
you okay? Like,
You, you need me
you
stand
sure?
here? Just in
Yeah,
case
you
she
look like
throw a
you
couple
might come
blows
over
on you.
there." I don't want her to run up on you. You need some help or
Right.
something. You good. Like he gave her that look, and we all know that look. That look like, oh shit. You sure you can handle this?
Right, right. Come on, man. Yeah. So overall, man, I thought it was a solid episode. They got these loose ends, and that gets frustrating sometimes. I don't want to seem like I'm always down on the show, but some of these loose ends, some of these obvious things that just seem kind of far fetched. You wish they would be better, but overall, man, we'll see what happens. We got some interesting stuff coming up next week, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'll tell you, we have been neglecting one person who the whole season was about last year. We've been neglecting Keisha. And only because they haven't been giving her the storyline. They've been giving her a couple scenes. Do you think that Keisha's going to keep the baby, or do you think she's going to give the
You
baby
know what?
away? And she looked at Emmett's son yesterday, and
Right.
you could kind of see that she may be considering what it would be like.
This might be crazy. I think her and Emmett could get together because that's how the series started out. It was her and Emmett. He was kind of hitting and jumping. He was in prime fuck boy, and that could be a possibility. They're close. They're always sharing. She's seeing this maturity in him. The children and stuff. He's there for her. I wouldn't be surprised, but it looks like she's in a little contractions next week. But I think she keeps it. I mean, shoot, she can't find nobody. I think Tad Brown's still around, but I ain't seen it in a couple episodes, so maybe she done disappeared and they're gonna find another parent. But we saw at the end she had the baby in the tub, so in the pool. So right.
Right.
So
So she may be in it. And you know what? You're right about next week and having the baby in the tub, because that did say 1 month earlier when we first came into the shot this season. All them scenes they showed were 1 month prior to where they started. So we're going up on 4 weeks. So we may be coming up to that point as opposed to it being at the end of the season. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, man,
mhm.
it's hard to say with Keisha. She's if you ask her, when they ask her, she's always, I'm giving it away, but she's getting that, that look like she wants to keep it. And I guess it's really difficult. You carry a baby around for 9 months, and that baby's part of you. Like
Right.
no two ways about it. It's part of you, and then you just give it away. I guess it's really, really difficult. So I see someone said their best friend is going to be on there, and someone asked if we can get some insider info. Is that you
Yeah,
asking,
I asked, can we
Garland?
get some insider info? Yeah.
We will need
Yeah,
some
Tyon,
insider
she has a friend that's an actress that's on, and she was a couple friends that's been actors on the show, and so trying to get some insider. Maybe we can line her up for next week if she get some deets she can share with us.
info. So she won't give a Lena
Oh,
got them on.
yeah, they must be on that, NDA.
That's all right. That's all right. So we'll keep thinking. We'll keep talking about what we think about the show.
We've only
Anyway,
had 12 viewers. Ain't nobody gonna tell if you say something more here. They come
who want to say
in
something?
to see.
Who want to say something? Ain't nobody in here with no big mouth. Ain't nobody say something.
Go ahead,
But
Calvin. Tell me
anyway,
something.
as Garland said, I thought this was a solid episode. But remember, this Thursday, let me get my finger out here. This belt is up for grabs this Thursday, just like Floyd Mayweather and what's the guy name that he fought
Logan
yesterday?
Paul. Logan Paul.
Logan Paul, or I thought he fought Jake Paul yesterday. Which one of them Pauls
Jake
did he?
was one of the Paul brothers. Jake. Maybe it was Jake.
We having our battle, our music battle this Thursday at 7:30. It will be Michael Jackson versus Stevie Wonder. Of course, Garland is representing Stevie Wonder. I'm going to be representing for the King of Pop, who wasn't always pop at the beginning of his career. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you
But
better pull out them ABCs.
that music battle. We'll see who wins, who gets to go home with the championship belt. Until then, I am still the reigning champion. But this Thursday at 7:30, of course, I'll put it in the group. You'll get the link and all. You can just log on. We'll have some security things going on, like you definitely have to be inside of the room, and I'll have to let you in, things like that. So because we had that one episode a couple battles ago, but. Other than that, we'll be back next Monday talking about the Shy season 4, episode 4, and we'll see where that goes. And I'm sure, do you know the title of that? Since it's going to be another Chicago-based
Yeah, I know
movie.
the title, and it's funny. I looked it up, but I didn't remember to write it down. But it's based on a Chicago movie that was produced back in the 1930s, and so
Okay,
yeah,
so it's definitely not Cooley High. I know you were
it's
you
not
were
cool.
pushing
Yeah,
high. You pushing for Cooley High. So,
yeah.
but anyway, we will see everybody this Thursday and then next Monday. As always, thank you for joining us. Thank you for lighting up the chat. We appreciate everybody. We will see you then. Hey, don't let the cicadas crawl on you. Don't be
All
scared
right.
of them. They're not gonna bite anyway. But we know y'all
Hey,
scared of them.
and I like to watch.
All right. So anyway, we'll see everybody later. All right, Garland. Have a good one.